Good evening, beautiful people. This is Goddess K. I'm just here because I really wanted to share an experience that I had with my daughters this week. So on Tuesday, we went to go and see the exhibit of King Tutankhamun, um, better known as King Tut. Anywho, it was just like I'm just giddy. It was amazing. It was really so much to take in. Like I'm still taking stuff in now. Like just looking at our history, like looking at our lineage, just us as people of color. Um, we just don't really get depicted in the greatest light, especially as to be seen as anything great. When you look on this television, I mean, I don't even watch TV, but like I do have Netflix, and my kids will be watching stuff on there, and sometimes I'll sit down and watch stuff with them. Or I like to watch the sci-fi movies because I know that's really the story of us. So I actually enjoy the sci-fi movies, but sometimes I'll just sit and watch stuff with them, and I just come to notice that like there is nothing talking about us. There's nothing talking about our greatness, how beautiful and wonderful of a people that we are. We just always get depicted as something low, something lacking, something that doesn't have a lot of value. Even in cartoons, I see it. It's just they always have us depicted as in something that's just like melancholy. There's never anything good coming towards these people of color, whether it be a cartoon or a show or a movie. So, it was just on my heart, like, to take the kids to see King Tut. It had been on my heart. I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I was supposed to do it over the winter break, but it just got so crazy. We were rearranging stuff in here, and my sons moved to Arizona with their dad, and, I was trying to get extra time in with them. I'm from LA, so I have my daughters, but the boys are out there, and we just had a lot of rearranging. I didn't get to do it, so unfortunately, my sons weren't able to have this experience, which I wish they could have. But I don't know. Hopefully, the exhibition will come back someday soon. But I ended up taking them this Tuesday. Today is Thursday, the 10th of 2019. So I took them to see it, and they loved it. My daughter Nova is 2; she'll be 3 in March, and then Khalees, she's 5, and she'll be 6 in July. And then my oldest daughter, she is 10; she'll be 11 in June. That just sounds crazy. I can't believe she's getting that old. Anyway, um, so we ended up going to the exhibit, and it was mind blowing. I mean, we are so amazing, and we just have so much talent. And just looking at the statues, looking at the artwork. I mean, you see like the King Osiris, and you can just clearly see the Oscars. The award for the Oscars art is clearly a replica. It's just like a replica. That's our shit. Um, you just look at like the way that the craftsmanship of the stuff that they made. Because it's about death and rebirth, like him really being reborn, because death is birth. That's like the spirit realm. That's the real place. So they just had him prepped up. Had little, I think they're called sarcophaguses that held, the organs, and they even had references like on each of the artifacts. They referred back to the Book of the Dead, and it was very magical. They were talking about like the different spells and how serious, and how the utterances of our words, there's so much power, and just like the essential oils that we used to use. They had like vases with oils and scents inside of them. It was beautiful just to see how magical you are, how talented you are. The jewelry was absolutely superb. The necklaces, they had like scarab beetles. It was so beautiful. I took some pictures, but I'm just trying to give you some type of example for you to just have an imagination as to what I saw. I saw golden unks. We saw King Tut's sandals. They were made of pure gold. Um, the jewelry and the rings that he even had on his fingers. It was just, it was amazing. Like, everything was beautiful. Everything was so meticulous and there's so much order and ritual and beauty. And I just think about how my childhood, I was always like into like ritual. Like, I always was, I don't know, enticed by ritual. Like, wow, I like how there's a certain way things are done. Like, I was born and raised Methodist, so there was a method. But I always admired Catholicism as a child because I just like the rosary beads. I just like everything that had to do like all these different things that you needed to have, which I feel like is important because we're not just spiritual beings. There's also physical. This stuff right here, this flesh suit that we're in. So I feel like it's necessary that we do need physical tools, physical things to be representations of like power, like I wear this because it's a representation of power to me. Like it's a reminder, it's a physical reminder for me of who I am. Like I am godly. I am God. Like I am of importance. I am royalty. Like it just reminds me, like, don't ever forget that shit. Like you got this on your head. I feel like people need that. Like the people of India, think about that. They wear that dot. Like, I never understood it when I was younger, but now as I'm older and you get more spiritual and you get more understanding, you see why people do certain things to kind of like keep them grounded, to keep them remembering who they are, that we're not just of this flesh, that this daily rigmarole shit is not of the very utmost importance, like that our spirituality is what's important because, you know, this is just an avatar, you know what's up in here. You feel me? But the exhibit was beautiful. The last day for the exhibit is in Los Angeles, California, at the California Science Center off of Vermont and Exposition and Exposition Park, right behind the Rose Garden. They did an extension because it was supposed to end on the 6th of January, but they ended up extending it to the 13th of January. So I would encourage everyone to go. You know, I had watched the what was that called? I watched the. Oh, they're having this brain fart. Sorry, folks. I was watching Bobby Hemmett do a lecture. There it goes. I was watching a lecture and it was a few months ago and he was just talking about like how people of consciousness, like, we need to invest, and when there are things that are going on in our communities that is a representation of who we are saying we are, we should fucking be a part of it. And when he said that, it really struck a chord with me. Like, that's crazy, like what he's saying is true. And then I think he even was talking about King Tut, like coming to, like, I guess maybe his neck of the woods, because if I'm not mistaken, he's from the South, and he was just talking about how nobody even came. Like, you got this constant community, but nobody's even coming to see their fucking history. No one's even coming to see King Tut. Like, how is that even possible? So, like, it really had me thinking, like, I'm gonna get my ducats together, and I'm gonna take my kids to see this. The tickets are $29 for adults, and for children is, I think it's 19.50. Um, it's worth it. It's a nice outing to do, to take yourself out, take your kids out, or whatever. You don't have kids, you got a couple or a friend, or even shit, go by yourself. Like, even if it's just you to have that experience, like, you don't need nobody. You just need to be able to just revel in the beauty of our people, and to walk down into those hallways and be proud, because guess what? It's crazy. It's more white folks going to this shit than us. And that's crazy. Like, it just shows you how much we really have a disconnect with ourselves and our greatness. That, everybody in the hood should be going to go and see and going to go show their kids themselves in a brighter, bigger, grandiose life. Look at my child right here. What's wrong? What's that? Don't do that. Go. Let me finish this video. What? You have to turn this off. I'm doing a video. Sorry. I am a mother. My 2-year-old being ridiculous. Anyway, go down those hallways and just look at you. Look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was up in there, I was feeling good. Like, yeah, this is our folk stuff. Like, you guys, you know what I'm saying? You done took over the mainstream, the TVs, fucking billboards. They're, you know what I'm saying? Like, the others. That's what I call it. Because it's not, it's not, I don't even get to see myself. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why black people have such insecurities and everything like that. Because, like, they don't never see themselves, to see this color skin, like, see me. And I saw me all up in that exhibit, and my daughters got to see themselves. And I'm like, nobody has done it like us. And I'm sorry, like, that's something to be proud of. Like, ain't no other folks wrapping themselves up like this, and all these sarcophaguses and all this gold and all this handcrafted jewelry that we had on our bodies. And it was just magical. It was absolutely magical. I encourage you to go. The history of it, some white guy named Carver discovered it in 1922. That really wasn't, I didn't give a fuck about that part. I was really more concerned with just looking at us and our history and just how beautiful of a people we are. And you guys need to take pictures and, and then absorb, for the conscious community that really, is into their energy. Absorb that energy. That energy was crazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. That night when I went to sleep, I like woke up out of my sleep at like around 3 or 4 in the morning, and my whole body was vibrating like crazy, to the point where I was a little scared, like a little uncomfortable, like I was trying to go back to sleep. Like, I don't know what this is, but I want to go back to sleep. Because I'm starting to just have more like stronger experiences now as I delve into my spirituality. The experiences become more intense, and they're just foreign, they're just unknown. So, I have to like tap into my Akashic record so I can just remember like all of this, so I won't be so like on edge when it happens. But it was some very strong energy emanating from my body that night. So I think it's like, a way for our ancestors to kind of like initiate us too, like put some of that good old ancient over 3,000, 4,000 year old energy on us. And it's potent and it's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping my mouth. Anyways, peace and many blessings to all of you. I wish you love, happiness. Take your children to go see King Tut. The last day is on Sunday. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have a comment, leave it down below. If any other topics you would like for me to share, or whatever you want to speak on, some things on your mind. I love you all. Have a beautiful, create a beautiful life.